All right, beloved, this is your favorite Reverend Dr. Sarpong, the researcher and numerologist, esoteric into our everyday life. Especially today, I'm going to hit about marriages, how a lot of marriages are ending on rocks. What can be done to correct those things or to uproot the negativity in our marriages? And this is what I'm asking you, that how do you go with your relationship? What are you doing to support your relationship? Is it sex or what? Or is it cooking? Or is it how you take care of your children? Is it how you take care of your home? And this is what I'm trying to define so that our marriages will be second to none. So I talked about the fact that, we should know our partners very well. In as much as we're knowing our partners very well, what else can be done, or what else can we bring into our relationship? I'm going to talk about orgasm. Orgasm. We know orgasm is the pleasure that comes out of making love. I don't want to use the word sex because everybody can have sex, but it's not everybody that can make you have an orgasm. You see, a lot of women have made mistakes. And the mistakes lies on the fact that they were supposed to keep their virginity until the day of marriage. So now, the very big controversy, a very big controversy on how we are supposed to go in our relationship. The pastors are not telling us what can be done. Our mothers also that are supposed to advise us, we are not taking the advice anymore. So these days we are doing our own choices and we are doing our own blame games. So when we choose and it doesn't go well with us as expected, we blame our ancestors, we blame our mothers. Sometimes we say they are witches, they are that, they are wizards, and so forth and so on. But most of the time, we are our own caused doom. Beloved, why am I saying that? Is the fact that we were supposed to keep our virginity according to Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse number 13. So I choose from New King James Version, which is Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse number 13, yes. Says, if a man takes a wife and goes into her and detests her, okay? If a man takes a wife and goes into her, that is sex, because sex, the Bible doesn't mention sex, but it uses a word like goes into her, it uses a word like lies with her, and stuff like that. So Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse number 13, is what I'm going to talk about today in this episode. He said, if a man takes a wife and goes into her and detests her and charges her with a shameful conduct and brings a bad name on her and says, I took this woman and when I came to her, which is lie with her or have sex, I found she was not a virgin. 15 says, then the father and the mother of the young woman shall take and bring out the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at the gates. The evidence of the young woman's virginity. What is that? So back in the days, they used to give a damsel, which is a white bedsheet. That is what is called the damsel. A white bedsheet, they present this to the couple on their honeymoon. And when they go, they spread this white sheet on their bed. And after the sex, the hymen breaks out, which is a virgin. The hymen breaks out, and a fluid that comes out of that hymen is sacred, like blood. And that is your first covenant between you and your husband. So the blood that comes off on that sheet, they don't wash the sheet. They fold the sheet and present the sheet to the woman's family. And they will be keeping this as an evidence. It's called the damsel. That is the name for it. So they keep this until when whoever alleges, then they will pull this thing and present it or spread it to show that the woman was a virgin and maybe the man is virgining her. But if the evidence, now let me read it, then it says what? Then as we continue, then it says, verse number 15, then the father and the mother of the young woman shall take and bring out the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. 16. And the young woman's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as wife, and he detests her. 17 says, now he has charged her with a shameful conduct, saying, I found your daughter was not a virgin. And yet these are the evidence of my daughter's virginity. That is when they spread the thing, and then listen to what he says. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. 18. Then the elders of the city shall take that man and punish him, and they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the father of the young woman. 100 shekels of silver is today's $300 equivalent. So they will only find this gentleman. But listen to this. Listen to this. They only had asked him to pay money. And once he pays the money, he's free to go. But listen, then it says, but if the thing is true and evidence of virginity are not found of the young woman, verse number 21 says, then they shall bring out the young woman to the doorpost of her father's house, and the men of that city shall stone her to death with stones, because she has done a disgraceful thing in Israel, to play a harlot in her father's house. So you shall put away the evil from among you. What a high price. So it means that if the woman was not a virgin and evidence of virginity was not found, they stoned the woman to death. This is in the Sharia law. When you go to the Sharia law, they uses this. So in some part of the Islamic, laws, if a man comes to you and you are not a virgin, you're supposed to let the man know that you are not a virgin. You have been this virgin already. And if you lie to this man that you are a virgin and they take you and evidence of virginity, your hymen is already broken, this is what they do to you. They will stone you to death. So this means that women were supposed to keep their virginity as high as any other thing. You see, so now that this virginity thing has been broken, almost now it becomes, we've created the whole thing as if now if you are a virgin, it has a form of stigma. It has a form of stigma, which has been stigmatized. A lot of people. So now even the virgins are ashamed to say they are virgins. So before a girl child will hit 16 years today, they've already disvirgined them. Because they don't allow them to see the importance of them keeping their virginity. How sacred it is to take their virginity into marriage. Why am I saying this? Now, once that virginity is broken, you've already had spiritual connection or, spiritual covenant with somebody else. And what happens is that, I don't know if I should say it, but let me tell you. It makes a woman loses a lot of spiritual connectivity between you and your man, whoever marries you. So you see, based on these numerous times of sex activities which most women have, contracted, this thing is deteriorating a lot of marriages. From how God even designed a woman in that VG area, a woman has got bumps, like bubbles, around that area. And these bubbles get shrinked by age. So when a woman hits 50, 60 years, all these things has already shrinked, and there's just a level ground over there, which a woman may not have so much, sex drive will not be that high. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of women these days are putting a lot of things into their own areas, which masturbation, whatever, to themselves. And based on this, they are. And to be honest with you, masturbation or doing it by yourself, a spirit takes part of it, because sex or love making is supposed to be two individuals. And in fact, it should be an opposite sex. But when two individuals or even a person decide to do this on his or her own, a spirit takes part. And that is what is called incubus and succubus. Incubus and succubus. And today, I may want to read a little bit about incubus and succubus. What is that? Incubus and succubus. So if you Google the word incubus, so the word incubus or succubus, it says an incubus or incubi, which is the incubus is the plural and incubi is the singular word. It's a male demon who described in various folklore as appearing in dreams or in the dream of a female humans in order to seduce them. It said repeated interactions between an incubus and a woman will lead to sexual activity. So a bond forming between them and ultimately sexual intercourse, as he requires vaginal ejaculations, discharges. So a woman will go sleeping at night, and in the morning she will find herself discharges. At times when you take your hand there, you realize that you are wet, and you start asking questions. Some don't even remember their dreams, that they've had sex in their dreams. Others who also remembers can't even do anything about it, and they become so disturbed that they don't even share these dreams, because one may look at them as, what are you talking about? So because this thing has a very form of, stigmatization attached to this, a lot of people are very, I would say, scared or even feel bad to discuss some of these things. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to let you understand, that be very careful with spiritual stuff than what you see physical. And based on this, I will talk more about this, as in how ones even need orgasm. You see, orgasm itself is what? Is a spiritual thing. Or sex itself is a spiritual thing. And that's how come, I feel like before you will go to the pulpit to say I do, based on all these things that I've lectured so far, that of course back in the days they used to say you are not supposed to sleep with a woman before you go on the pulpit. But these days I will tell you, check. Yes, I am a reverend minister, but I will tell you to check. I will tell you to check before. I will ask you to check before you go to the pulpit to say you do. I will ask you to do your own due diligence, what is called due diligence, before you go to say I do. Because, as I said, two people coming from different upbringing, different background, which you have no idea how this man was treated, how he was, trained, or how the woman was trained. And then you go on the pulpit to say you do. You don't know who breaks her virginity. You see, so all these things has to be looked into before you say you do. beloved, because you are talking about somebody you are to spend the rest of your life with, a life partner. All right? So, orgasm itself, what is it? It's the only time where a man will get a woman or a man into a climax. Into a climax. And orgasm has got its own spiritual benefit and physical benefit. Even let me tell you, if you're having headache, orgasm can take care of headache. If you're having stress, orgasm can take stress. And for me to prove beyond reasonable doubt, let's read this article of orgasm, benefit of orgasm. Okay, so benefit of orgasm, what is that? It says what? This is AI overview in Google. Orgasm offers a wide range of physical, mental, and emotional benefits. So due to the release of hormones like what? Dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins is big words. Dopamine, what? Oxytocin, and then what? Endorphins. It says these benefits apply whether the orgasm is achieved through solo or or patterned sexual activity. Patterned sexual activity. And then it says what? Listen to this. Physical health benefits. Pain relief. So orgasm is a pain reliever. Orgasm, it says orgasm trigger the release of what? I think I've mentioned this, but yet they are still talking about it. Orgasm trigger the release of endorphins, which are natural what? Painkillers. Natural painkillers that can help elevate headaches. General headaches or general itches if your body is itching. One may say, what is this man talking about? Yes, a lot of people have body itching, general itching, and this comes as a result of lack of orgasm. All right? Then it says what? It says, and menstrual cramps. Menstrual cramps. You see, the doctors may not be able to ask you whether or not you've been having orgasms. But, it's a very personal question, which doctors may not be able to ask you that. But if you have one-on-one counselor who can sit you down and counsel you, sometimes they can go deeper by asking you, how many times do you have sex? Because some pains has natural painkillers or pain reliefs, which you don't need the chemical drugs. You see, so God from his wisdom created humans to heal ourselves. And human body is self-destructing or enhancement or repairing. Which, all these things in your body can repair itself. But because you are not doing the right thing, if you are doing the right thing, having sex, not just having sex with anybody, but having sex with somebody you can trust, believe that their health status is what? Is good. You see, then of course, you can enjoy the real thing that God had created. Then he said, let me read with you. It says, improve sleep. The body releases prolactin and oxytocin after an orgasm, which promotes relaxation and and drowsiness, helping individuals fall asleep faster and experience deeper, more restful sleep. What an antidote. What an antidote. Then it says enhance immune function. Regular sexual activity and orgasm may boost the immune system by increasing the production of what? Immunoglobulin. What a word. Immunoglobulin. immunoglobulin. I think that is what is called the whatever. The immunoglobulin, A, and what? IgA, which is an antibody that helps protect the body from common infections, or infectious pathogens. All right, then it says better heart health. Sexual activity is a form of exercise that increases heart rate and improves circulation. Regular orgasms are associated with lower blood pressure and a potentially reduced risk of heart disease. Papa, what a drag. So one may have thought maybe this man is saying something different, but I am giving you research base from authorities. Okay, then it says strengthened pelvic floor or pelvic floor. Let me take it again. Strengthened pelvic floor. So it says the rheumatic contractions of the pelvic floor muscle during an orgasm provide a workout. Wow. That helps strengthen them, which is important for bladder control and overall pelvic health. Another one, potential prostate cancer risk reduction. This is what the doctors may not tell you. Our testicles as a man always, produces some form of liquids. It's like milk in your testicles, which is the sperms, all right? And these things are not supposed to be kept in your testicle for too long. Always have to come out. Oh, and when you keep it for too long, that is where a lot of people develop what we call prostate cancer. So when you deny your man sex, it's a what? It's a recipe of getting prostate cancer. And probably you have no idea. So women that when they need something from their husbands and they wear jeans and put padlocks at their zip to say they've locked it up and they don't want their husbands to enter, you are ending up creating, as in digging the man's hole. The man's whatever. Then it says what? It said potential prostate cancer risk reduction. It says studies have indicated what? A correlation between frequent ejaculation and a lower risk of what? Developing prostate cancer in men. So it's a study that I've done by great doctors, renowned doctors, and they've written this. So when you Google it, you see it there as benefit of orgasm. That is the title, what you can type, and of course you see this. Then it says mental and emotional health. Mental and emotional health benefits. Stress and anxiety reduction. That is orgasm. So orgasm lowers the level of what? Cortisol. The body's primarily stress hormones, that is the cortisol, and releases feel good, what? It says what? Natural transmitters. Wow. It's a word. Natural transmitters that induce relaxation and a sense of calm. It says mood boost. So the surge of what? Dopamine, the feel-good hormone, and what? Oxytocin during and after orgasm helps improve mood, increase feelings and happiness, and may combat symptoms of depression. So many women are depressed. When you see most women who are depressed, it's a lack of orgasm. So on this note, this is what I'm trying to round it up for you to understand that. Get wisdom, get understanding. It's not always about what you think or how you feel. And there are a lot of things that ought to be, you need to get education of, so that your marriage life can be second to none. Beloved, get to know most of these things. And I believe that your marriage will be too much of what? Success, too much of reliefs, too much of problem-free marriage. And your matrimonial home will be something that you don't want even to miss a day. Because some people, when they travel outside their matrimonial home, they don't feel comfortable. They want to come back. But some people, when they travel, they are happy because of what is happening in their matrimonial home. A lot of people are dying untimely there because of the partner that they chose to spend the rest of their life with. And I don't want you to be, or you don't want to be, a victim to that. So, beloved, in as much as we are learning, I tell you, get wisdom, get understanding. It has been your favorite Reverend Dr. Sarpong, the researcher and the radiologist. I love you so much. Bye-bye.